5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Everybody dies.
Wait,
Question
is
mark?
that? Yeah, right. There you go.
Question mark?
You had to go there.
I did. I really did.
I was waiting for it.
I'm
Jumping
confused.
And
But
now-
also, he's made of smoke.
Yeah. What?
It's like the lamest way you could have killed him off.
He worked so hard on those.
Dustin's like, did you?
No, okay. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Man.
Witchcraft.
All right, there is some precedence for it, actually. So it wasn't really that
What
surprising.
president?
You just want answers from Filoni.
I just want answers from Filoni,
It's-
okay? Why did you make him that important,
Yeah.
though?
He has his own action figure.
Like multiple.
And now he's dead.
Action figures speak louder than words.
I don't know.
That's true.
I just feel like again, this is almost like a Last Jedi situation for me, like the whole Snoke theory thing. Like the fans, I feel like came up with a better storyline in some ways than what we were given. It's just Night Sister magic. Basically a dead soul was inhabiting the empty husk armor and fighting. Also, why would the smoke just pour out of the? Is that an airtight seal? Is that what happened?
I think it got sucked back probably to Morgan, but they didn't show it. That was
I don't think it got sucked. It's like almost
like
like
sucked back to the concrete area.
Yeah. Okay, you wouldn't have like a soul like cup or something that it goes back into.
Yeah, what is he, a genie in a bottle?
That's what I'm
He's
wondering.
in the cup on the ship.
No.
So
with Dustin's face.
Or he's just in the tower where the map was.
maybe.
Where the cauldron is.
Or did he just go back to the ether of the Force ether, the Night Sister ether?
Maybe you can capture the essence of that person and make them fight and do these things. They don't. He didn't have a lot of like individual thought. Let's just say that's a
theory,
but he did have 3 words.
Do it. What's your theory?
I think he's gonna come back.
All right, just like the Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah, he's kind of like immortal because they can just remake him.
Yeah,
I think that's
what's gonna happen.
Yep.
I think we're getting a redo of like the first 4 episodes of this show in like a condensed version with the World Between Worlds.
Yeah. Speaking of the
Ahsoka the White.
Wait.
Speaking of,
but before we get, we still got more Marok that we got to talk about.
So Hannah just made a good point. His introduction was non-existent, and his fighting was never very Inquisitor feeling. So I kind of expected this ending for him, and the fact that he was just in a rusty suit.
Yeah. He kind of, and Dustin even called it out. He said he kind of looked like Darth Maul.
Yeah.
His fighting style.
His fighting style definitely reminded me of Maul.
Is it Maul's essence?
It could be. That's the only saving grace, because whenever that scream happened coming out of Marok, it sounded kind of Sam Witwer to me. But I think everything sounds Sam Witwer to me at this point.
But it was a double-sided lightsaber.
Like
yeah. Dual-sided, yeah.
Yeah, and double-sided. He used the forbidden move.
He did.
Did you guys see that in the fight?
Ignition.
He shut off. Yeah, he shut it off and then turned it back on immediately. You don't do that, man.
You don't do that. Nobody's
But
ever
ghosts
done that.
can do whatever they want.
I mean, it's cool. It's also one of those things like, why don't they use that more
It's
often?
so cool. Yeah, you're like...
It was cool to see, actually.
Yeah, but I mean, I can see how it's dangerous, though.
Right.
Because literally, he could have just got stabbed.
Yeah, right.
Like,
Could have
real
gone
quick.
through and just chopped.
Dude, like, they totally copped out and just copied Obi-Wan and killing Maul.
I don't know if it's a copy
It's not exactly
or if
the same, but it's starting
poetic?
to be a Dave Filoni trope.
It's the spiritual successor to that move.
Yes. It's the poetic...
She goes in between his body and the lightsaber.
Yeah, kinda. We don't...
It's exactly what happens.
I need to do slow-mo,
Apparently
but
we
you're
have
right.
cons.
Well, it's
because
just...
I'm like, how did
we
she...
rewound it to see how
I'm
it
like,
happened.
how did she do that?
Yeah.
And she literally does that. She sneaks under his arm and slices him through.
She has perfect timing. She has...
There is
Jedi.
no
She's
amount of force can make you do that.
You don't.
She
need
was
an
like this big, and then she was like zoop, and then she was this big again.
She did...
It's not physically possible what she did. That's
World-
all
She
I'm
went
trying
into
to
the
say.
world between
She's
worlds
got
there.
possible.
Yeah.
She's got, she might be
She
super...
could teleport.
Yeah.
I was like, did I see that right? Did she really do that?
Yeah, I mean...
And we watched it
Yeah,
again,
we
and I
did.
was like, that's
Yeah, what
exactly what happened.
Yeah, it was really weird. She timed that perfectly, or Merrick really sucks.
Both is good.
Well, he has limited mobility when he's like twirling this thing, because if he moves too fast, he's going to chop himself off.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, he went to the Shakespeare's School for Dying.
Yes.
because
Yeah,
it took
that
about
was-
half an hour to do so.
Hey, but because we
was
needed
very
to see
samurai.
we
It was
needed to
very
see
samurai
Shin's
inspired.
reaction. We needed to see
Okay,
Shin
but
look
that's
over.
The
another
chat's
thing.
talking about that
Yeah.
right now.
I know.
They're talking about Shin and Merrick. Maybe there's a connection between the two of them. Like,
I don't think
like-
she knew he was dead,
or that he was.
or he was whatever that was.
Yeah,
Sith
that
or
Morgan
whatever
I think
was
you're
that
right.
powerful.
Yeah.
See,
probably.
I think she was in love with him.
I'm
but
wondering-
She's sad to know that he's
Because
not
he
a
said,
human.
"As you wish," which
Yes.
means I love
Yeah.
you.
That's
We
right.
all know from that movie that you have to guess the reference of.
Yes.
It's
So
a
it's-
powerful phrase.
It
So
is.
we're
It
doing
is.
shipping Shin
Also,
Rock.
Darth Vader said it to.
Shin Rock?
Yeah.
I like Shin Rock. We're going
Shin
Shin Rock, people.
Also, Darth Vader
Fact
said
checker.
it to Grand Moff Tarkin. So
Wow, that got weird.
that got really weird. Empress got it.
Empress got it. Princess Bride, baby. Yep.
We love it. We love it. It's
But yeah,
another callback. To
No,
our favorite.
do you think he was actually alive at one point
Yes.
and
Yeah.
he died like away from them, and then they just resurrected him?
Yeah.
You know, the one thing that we didn't see in a reaction, you think Elsbeth, who was just a hop, skip, and a jump away,
Yeah.
would have had
No.
some kind of reaction.
Maybe she
Should've
didn't even know.
sensed it or
Yeah.
something.
Well, she should have known. There's only one way
Right,
that,
she
that he
should've.
could be
Yeah.
there is by her putting him there in this story.
Unless there's someone else doing
Yeah.
the magic too, but
Right.
they
Right.
would have shown that.
No.
I think.
You
Yeah.
know, but it's true because Elsbeth, I'm sorry, Morgan. No,
Yeah, Morgan Elsbeth. You're right.
I'm talking Shin and Balin.
Oh, Shin.
Yeah.
Balin.
Didn't really, you know, other than Shin, he followed her around basically.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't really look to him for advice. They didn't look to him for. They don't like the magic. We know that now.
Yeah, because
Right.
they kept saying witchcraft. The whole
Witchcraft.
time.
So maybe he's happy that
Maybe
he's-
maybe Shin was looking at Marok as more like disgust in some ways, like, oh, that was just a Sith, like a witchcraft.
yeah.
And
I don't
also
know.
I think it was also her reacting like, oh crap, it's 2 against 1 now.
Yeah.
It might have been partly that as
No,
well.
I think it was like genuinely like, holy crap, he's dead.
Yeah.
Is it like the eighth
And
brother, like
smoke just
resurrected
came
or
out of
something?
him. Yeah.
Eighth brother or
Oh,
something?
maybe. Mrs. Manrique says
Maybe.
Morgan's payment to Balin and Shin is Marok. So
Oh, really?
Oh,
that-
what?
She
Is
was
that what she said?
disappointed because they didn't get paid, but then when they walk,
I think it might be some
Oh.
foreshadowing. I think what's happening here
Time to come,
Foreshadowing.
yeah.
is foreshadowing that Morgan Elsbeth is planning on doing
She's a witch.
resurrected army for Thrawn in the future.
Yeah.
I think
Oh.
it's foreshadowing,
Okay.
and that's how they're going to get the
Foreshadowing.
bodies and the
So we
Sith.
could see if they grab the armor before they take off, which I don't know if they did, but they could have
Whose armor?
I could go back. I guess.
Marok's armor, or they have
it's
this.
gone.
No,
It disintegrated.
No, the armor didn't
no,
disintegrate.
Yes, it did.
No, he just got really skinny. Like
Yeah,
the
he's
suit
just
Like deflated like a balloon.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying if they grab
deflated.
it, we could see him again in a different resurrected soul using the
Marok armor.
the
See, I
Marok
think-
You gotta
armor.
sew it back up.
Yeah.
You gotta
Just-
sew- you
just sew 'em
definitely-
back up.
Seal it, guys.
Put that smoke in there.
That's what I'm saying.
Slap
like-
some.
but Ahsoka knew
Oh,
where to
yeah,
slash
the-
him. I guess that's the crazy thing. Like she could have done the dodge and like hit him in the pauldron or something. She could have chopped the head
Could've
off.
done
She
the
she
dodge.
sliced
Yeah.
the gut
Yeah.
because that's where the soul lives, in the gut.
Maybe she didn't even know what he was.
I don't know.
I don't think she did.
No.
I don't think they did.
I don't
no.
think anybody
maybe
knew.
she could have sensed it. Ahsoka could have been sensing that something was off the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
But man, he was a really good like Force Sith entity though for his fighting style to hold his own
Yeah.
against Ahsoka for that long.
Yeah.
Because we did technically see that same thing happen in Tales of the Jedi, and that was like 3 moves, donezo. And
Yeah.
she didn't
Donezo.
have a lightsaber.
Right.
So with him fighting with a lightsaber, that's why I'm thinking he might have been slightly more Maul-esque because she fought Maul, and that was a tough battle as well.
Maul-esque.
The funny thing is that if he's just a soul, then he can't really tap into the dark side to be ragey.
Right.
Yeah.
Usually, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe that's why he got beat so easily.
He's just the
Maybe.
essence, man.
But I don't know.
the
There's
essence.
questions. Yeah.
There are a lot of questions there, but I do think it's leading
It's-
into some more. So that's why I'm not like totally
Yeah.
crushed by
I think
it.
that.
But I do.
Some people
you
are
kidding?
so. Some
Roll
people.
back
Are,
the tape. Look at your face.
some people are elated.
R.I.P. Star Killer.
All right, if you Star
I
Killer,
know, man.
That's
I just
sad.
think that
dude.
stuff would have been so much
It
more
would've
fun.
been.
I don't know.
It
It would've.
As Star Wars.
It would've
fan,
been
Could you
cool.
it would've
imagine
been way
Sam
more
Witwer
fun.
taking his helmet off? Or like
Dude,
his
I
helmet
might
gets
have cried
slashed
for
and then he
that.
takes it off and it's just Star Killer and you're like, what?
Well, the only thing is like now we have
Water
hope that
shoots
there's
out
even
your
a
nose.
cooler way for them to bring Star Killer in. Maybe
Yeah.
in season 2.
I don't think they're gonna
Don't
do
give
it.
me that hope.
Season
Don't
2.
do it. Daniken,
Don't give me
it's
hope.
Too
just
soon.
lifting me up to drop me on the ground.
Maybe
again.
Star Killer's in the other galaxy and we'll find him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
It could be.
earlier Hunter did say, well, you were saying Marok did the Darth Maul stance, but Ahsoka did the Anakin stance.
Anakin.
Yes, she
according
did.
to Hunter.
Yeah, she
Yes.
did. She
It was
did.
poetic.
that.
It was
So,
poetic.
Was that a lead-in or a hint?
Yes.
I think so.
I think
she's
so.
tapping into the dark side.
Well,
I
she's-
didn't
She's
see that.
definitely doing
in
that.
this episode, she definitely
Yeah.
tapped in the dark side.
She learned
she
that
did.
from her master. Let's just put
Who
it that
is
way.
Darth
And
Vader.
Speaking
Yes.
of that, that's a good segue because Balin's calling her out on that this entire episode.
Mhm.
Yep.
Basically pointing out the fact that because of her and her master, they're
It's a
the reason
legacy of
why everything
destruction.
went totally south.
Yeah, it's true.
And he's not wrong.
Right.
And that's the coolest thing about Balin so far.
I know.
He
He
tells the
knows.
truth.
I love
He keeps his word.
I love a good villain that you can relate to.
So
This is why
saith
I'm a
the
Sith. Yes. Because he's like, you're listening to him and you're like, this guy's like low key making a lot of sense.
Loki?
And I don't know how I feel about this, but I like it.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Although I do say the similarity between him and Thanos is uncanny, even
Well,
with
because
some of
they
the
just
dialogue.
like
Not that it's a bad
they
thing.
copy and pasted some lines.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a bad thing because that is one of the greatest villains we've got in the last I don't know 20 years or something like
20
that
years.
probably.
Probably since Darth Vader.
Yeah.
in the
Seriously.
first episode.
But I really like that character, man. He was just
Yeah.
pointing out all her flaws, even egging her on
Mm-hmm.
and trying to unbalance her. That was the other thing he was doing.
Yep.
It was mental warfare there, which was amazing.
Hunter chimed in with a good comment. They both have huge chins too, Dustin.
Huge.
So true.
It's true. But Balin rocked at this episode.
Yeah.
He was the
Oh, yeah.
rock of this whole thing. And
Definitely.
like, yeah, you see, he's dark. He's motivated. Let's say.
Well, but he's respectable. Though.
Right. However dark he is, he's motivated by whatever it is that he needs and he wants to get. And he's willing to go through the war, as she says it, to create the next war and all of these things because that's going to help him achieve his goals
Right.
of whatever that is, power, whatever this is going
It's
to
the
be.
biggest mystery,
Yeah.
I think, of this entire series.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like,
Balin and Shin.
is he gonna try to? What is he gonna do? What's his end game?
Yep. Like I wasn't
Marvel
nervous
man.
before we watched this. Like when we were talking last night, I wasn't as nervous about somebody dying. And then within like the first 10 minutes was a little slow. There was some dialogue, but they leaned into that dialogue.
Yeah.
And they're like, will you do the right thing, Sabine, when
Right.
the time comes? Because we
Oh,
saw
right.
the line in the trailer.
Yes, yeah.
And
Yeah.
as soon as he leaned into that, I was like,
Like,
uh-oh, something's going down.
Something's gonna be wrong.
I know.
here.
But it was pretty.
Even the show notes, I was like, apparently not.
Yeah, and the music.
It
I
was
felt it.
suspenseful too,
Yeah, it was.
being around the ship and the door was open and it was
Yeah,
ominous.
you're like,
and,
yeah, what is going on?
and then Hugh Yang goes out by himself.
Yeah,
I
that's
know.
where you hang.
You were nervous about
But
that.
Hu Yang,
It was scary.
Hu
Hu
Yang
Yang.
fighting,
Dude,
Yeah.
that was
that
awesome.
was great. I was like, oh,
That was a huge plus.
he can hold his own.
It was a Hugh Yang
Huge
plus,
plus.
baby. He was basically, oh man, I
An
just lost
assassin
Grievous.
droid?
He was like
Oh,
Grievous
Yeah.
fighting, but
Yeah.
like
he
a
had
boxer,
those
dude.
little arms up top.
He was training that droid.
He was like, no, you must throw this punch.
throw this punch.
Yeah. I really like that though. It showed that he
Yeah.
has some fighting prowess and he's smart with letting
Yeah.
those
Well, yeah.
help.
He's a
Help.
he's a professor, man.
He is, dude. Professor Hu Yang.
Professor. Hu
And he was
Yang.
going up against an assassin droid, which is purpose built to kill things.
to kill things.
And that he held his own against that
Right.
was impressive.
And then he just
The only thing that could have made that better is if he pulled out 4 lightsabers and he said, General Kenobi.
General Kenobi. I
And
wanna
just cut
wonder.
those droids apart.
Right.
Also, why doesn't he have his own lightsabers?
That's
I
a
mean, he
great
makes
question.
lightsabers.
Because
Yeah.
he just helps create lightsabers.
I know,
he
but
doesn't use them.
You'd think he could have
think
4
he
of his
could,
own
yeah.
at this point.
He prefers to. What are you doing?
Just kidding. We needed some
It's a live
suspenseful-
show.
We
What
needed some
happened? Tuning in.
suspenseful music there. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
What were you saying, Nick?
He should have his own lightsaber.
No, but
I
Yeah.
think so.
He just helps create lightsabers. He doesn't. He prefers to fight like a gentleman
Yeah.
with his fisticuffs.
Yeah, that was cool though. It was really good. I like that fight scene.
Yes.
And
Um,
even that intro fight scene with Ahsoka, Sabine, and all those kind of cannon fodder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
The
a good
cannon
fight
fodder
scene.
people.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Them working together.
Also, fact check if you can earmark the comment from
Yep.
Hannah.
Yep. Which one?
recently about. It was a
Yeah.
great comment.
Yeah,
I want
the
to bring that up once we get back to that part
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Got
later
it.
on. It was a solid take on that part. I
Yeah,
love
the
it.
chat is on fire. You
Chat's
guys are on
on
fire
chat,
tonight.
This is why we like
is on
this chat and this community, because we get in and give our thoughts, and you guys get in and give your thoughts, and we realize we're wrong on everything. Because you're so much smarter than us, but we do give you our opinion, right or wrong, because that's how we feel.
Yeah.
And Dustin loved Starkiller.
I love Starkiller.
And Nick loves all things Sith and
do.
Uncanny Valleys. He picks them out of the
Dude,
Did you
And
really
Dan loves
do
the
that?
Go there.
Did you just do
Okay,
that?
No,
can
I
we
didn't
hit on
do
that?
positives,
Can
too
we hit
many
on that
positives.
section
Okay,
really
let's
quick?
just
no.
now you open the
well,
can, Dan.
this all came down to the apex moment after she.
There's so much that we got to talk about, though.
I know there's so much.
This is
Well,
why you
we
don't
can
put the cart before the horse.
we can rewind. We haven't
Can
gone
we?
there.
We
I'm
can
already
world
there.
Between worlds.
He's there. Let him explode.
No,
All right.
we're gonna go there. Okay.
We're going there. We have to now. You
Dude.
open
You open Pandora's box.
the world between worlds right now.
Yeah. Okay.
World-
So
we got the world
just
between worlds.
skipping
Though.
over that whole part about how she fell off a cliff and went immediately to the world between
Yeah,
worlds.
did she die?
Is that
did she
heaven?
not die? The water on
Is-
Cetos
Does that
is
happen?
heaven.
Like, where is everybody else if that's the case?
yeah.
You know,
But it's her world
Like, we're-
between worlds.
Are we
I
talking
get
world
that.
between worlds, or are
world
we
between
talking
worlds. Like she died, right?
Yeah.
Like she's dead.
Well, she fell.
I don't know.
How
don't
did she
think-
fall into the world between worlds without dying though?
Because
Did somebody pull her in the world
She's
between
in the
worlds?
magic-
She's in the actually. Yeah, that's a good
I
point.
don't
I
know.
have seen a lot
Oh,
of
that,
theories
okay, yeah, I could see that.
that place that they're at is like another
a
opening,
portal,
like
right?
a portal.
Like
Because
like
where did the
Lothal-
portals come from?
Yeah, could be.
Because
Did
Lothal had
somebody?
it
How did she get saved the first time? Riddle me this.
by
Ezra.
Ezra.
He pulled her out.
Did somebody pull her out of this one? Who did she see when she
Anakin.
got
Anakin
into
pulled
the
her
world
out.
between worlds?
Speaking of,
Yeah, but how is he there?
How is he
Exactly.
there? Okay,
Okay.
she went to the world between worlds.
yes.
Did she pull somebody out of the world? In the world between worlds?
No,
No,
For future reference.
She
She
was
did not.
against
off
it
screen that we
because
haven't seen. You know what
Remember,
he was.
Ezra,
yeah.
they see Kanan, and
Yes.
he's like,
yes,
"Oh, I can pull him
know.
out here," and
Yeah,
she's like,
he
"No,
was.
you can't do that."
I
'cause
agree, but
if
there's-
you do
die.
that, you're dead.
There's some kind of break in the system. This is
Exactly.
why that is
Yeah.
Pandora's box for
It's
sure.
just weird.
It is.
I just got to say that was the most smooth transition I've ever seen coming
Yeah.
from the water.
It was very smooth.
Like you thought she's laying in water, like how's she floating in water, but she doesn't look
Exactly.
damaged. And then all of a sudden it just transitioned over, and you're like, oh my goodness, that was
Yeah.
so cool. And the world between worlds
okay.
looks so good.
the chat is great.
Right.
The WBW
Yeah.
looks amazing. I mean, it looks just like Rebels.
It does
Yeah.
look.
I can't believe how they got
It
that.
looks amazing.
But then it all starts to fall apart.
Okay, well,
Oh no, it
I don't think so. But you go ahead, Nick. I won't just.
All right.
It's
wait,
not
let me-
even
let me
that-
Let him
hashtag
go.
it.
It's not even that Anakin shows up.
Yeah.
It's that he shows up and they de-aged him. And I'm like, I'm looking at him. I'm like, oh my god, why? Why do you have to do? You're ruining it. It looked like he had a stroke. It looked like he had no soul. I was like, what is going on with Disney? Why do they feel like they have to de-age everybody? Literally, he doesn't look that old. You could have just put makeup on him. It would have been fine. But no, you got to make him look younger. Like, oh, it's from this era. It's like, yeah, no. Like, are we stupid?
is it?
Is the audience stupid? Like, do we not know how old he's supposed to be? It makes the whole, like, it was good. And then it showed his face. And I was like, oh, of course you did.
You had the same reaction. Let's rewind.
It's literally in every show
It was
they ever do.
season finale.
And it's getting
Mando
old.
season 2.
The actor's not getting old because they look young. But this whole shtick about, oh, we're going to de-age him, stop doing it. It's a dumpster fire. It's so bad.
Your biggest,
Dude, literally, they didn't have to de-age him.
Yeah.
your biggest problem is just the fact that they de-aged him and they used
His face looks like
Uncanny Valley.
his face looks like it's melted rubber.
You had the same
you cannot
reaction
deny that.
in season 2
But
Mando.
everybody's like, oh,
the
it
season
actually doesn't
finale.
look that bad. I'm like, dude, it looks like he's
Men were
it
crying.
looks like some stunt double that went through a burn victim or something.
Went through a burn victim.
Robert
It was
G
played
says
by a burn victim.
he has wrinkles. He's in his 40s.
Yeah.
So they had
So
to
what?
And then this guy
Why
lets
does that
defund
matter?
de-aging.
Yeah, but
He died
hey, but
later on.
Grandpakin.
Just make him look like, you know,
It
you
would've-
don't have to make him look like he did when he died, but make him look like he's older. You know?
Would have been better if he was blue, like glowing like Force Ghost blue.
No. Well, if it worked for the story,
Like, do you think that would have looked a little bit better? Like,
they could have hidden it. They could have hidden it.
it a little bit more.
They could have hidden wrinkles.
Yeah.
Baggy wrinkles can hide well in Force Ghost blue.
Well,
I think it would have been a better way to do it.
Yeah, I think.
But
so,
also he's in the
there's
world
probably
between
a point.
worlds, so
there's a point going
Right.
on here. I'm
And
not
people
sure
in
what
the
it is.
chat
Yeah.
have it figured out.
That's what Robert G said.
All right,
there
yeah,
has
chat.
to be a reason Filoni did it.
Is it?
Yeah,
It
it
could
definitely
be
does.
because
So
it's
stay
not
tuned,
the
Nick.
real Anakin. It could be that it's some vision that she's having that's younger. But still, you saw it. But
Oh,
that's what I'm
right
saying.
away.
It's just funny because that's always the hill that Nick will die on is the CGI.
I know. But it's
de-aging.
true.
There's-
We were all excited and like
It's not even
getting
a
emotional.
story point.
It
It's just
detracts.
like the look of it.
It detracts from the emotional weight of
Oh,
the
man.
scene.
But there was emotion when you saw
Yes,
him, right?
there was.
Okay, just getting that
But
out
it
there.
detracts from it because you're like,
Yeah, you
why
can't
does he
believe
look
the acting
like that?
anymore, right? Is it because the acting goes out the window?
No, it's because it just doesn't look right.
It's
It's the uncanny valley.
Nick has the strongest reaction to the uncanny valley that I've ever seen or heard.
The problem is he's gotten it twice. The most powerful moments. He got Luke,
Yeah.
yeah,
and we were all crying
We're
man
like,
tears.
yeah! Oh,
Crying man
I
tears.
still
no,
loved
what?
it. I mean,
I did too. And then people were crying over Anakin.
Yeah,
I mean, it was
so
an
much.
emotional scene for
Yeah.
this is why I gave Ahsoka Rosario Dawson props because she acted great in that scene.
yeah, it's
I'm gonna be controversial here.
Okay.
The best one they ever did was Grand Moff Tarkin in Rogue One.
That's controversial because
It
that
is
was
very
controversial,
controversial
'cause a lot of
because it was like
people-
the first time they ever did it, but it was good. There were parts
yeah. I mean,
that
yeah.
you could tell, but overall it was good. This is like literally people going into like just getting into like CGI. Like, here, give it to that kid. He just got out of college. Like literally his degree is still the ink is still wet.
from his degree.
Have him do it. Why? Why would you do that?
Would it have been better if they did?
If they did if somebody had like 15 years of experience doing it,
Yeah.
it would have looked way better.
What about deep fake? Would it have been better if they did deep fake versus de-age?
yes?
Because I think it was de-aged, but
it was smooth. But people
Honestly,
in the chat agree with you, Nick.
they
on,
could
his
have
face
on
was
Tarkin.
smooth.
They like Tarkin.
But I
they
think
literally could have just used they could have used a shot from Revenge of the Sith.
I think Nick needs to submit a de-aged or a view of Anakin for Talent on Target.
Yeah.
Your
A
version
view of him?
Your
you have
version.
to do your
of
version.
him.
Could you do it better? Put
Yeah.
your money where your mouth is.
Oh,
boy.
absolutely, I could do it better.
I know.
It's not
We gotta
even that
see it.
hard.
We gotta see it.
Talent on Target.
Yeah.
I literally I have the shot in my head that you could literally just pull him from Revenge of the Sith and put him in there, and it would look 10 times better.
So Bismo's in the chat and
What's up,
has a
Biz?
question.
Yeah, and I saw his comment. Oh, he doesn't
Yeah.
look that bad.
Always lighting him up now.
But he asked,
Yeah,
do you
and
think that
Andor was a terrible show, right?
This is the hill. This is the hill
oh, dude,
Nick
it
dies
irks
on.
me so much because people are like, "Oh, it doesn't look that." It does,
Dude,
It looks
honestly,
that
I
bad.
didn't
man.
think it looked that bad still.
In 5 years, not even 5 years. It's gonna be like 2 years from now. You're gonna watch this and be like,
That's
"Man,
a great scene.
You were right.
oh wow.
This is bad."
Maybe they can
This is
reprocess it as
really
the technology
bad.
comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Dude,
they're
but
gonna
no,
do.
okay,
They're gonna
do
do the
it.
George
But-
Lucas treatment.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
remember,
Oh, this is the original. No, it's not. It didn't look that bad or that good.
Special editions.
dude, remember in Obi-Wan though, they had an un-de-aged version of Anakin in the Obi-Wan,
Yeah.
and I thought that was worse for me because it looked like what they call him, Grandpa Anakin.
Grandpakin.
Grandpakin. It looked like Grandpakin
Yeah,
to
but
me when he was
see,
supposed to be
He
like
was
young.
doing a lot of movement.
Yeah, but
That's
That's
true.
another aspect.
Okay, well, Bismo.
This
is-
one wasn't moving.
but we haven't seen where they're going with this yet either.
All right.
So
Fact checking.
Yeah. So on that note, Bismo's asking, do we think this Anakin's Force ghost? Inserts Vader theme.
I think
yeah,
he's
that was an interesting.
because
that
he's
was
dead at this
fascinating.
point, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
He should be.
Hondo.
I think that's what it is.
Well, he's a Force ghost at this point,
Yeah,
and maybe he can present himself in a more
World Between
physical
Worlds.
form in the world between worlds, but he's still dead as a Force ghost. So he's
Right.
still showing up as a Force ghost because he's also the chosen one too. So I think
chosen
if anybody's able to show up as like a physical being in the world between worlds,
Yeah,
it would be Anakin, in my opinion.
I
So-
guess you bring Hayden Christensen back. Like, you don't put anybody else there because he's the guy.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of how
that
does he
helped
look.
at
And I'm
least, right? That at least it was Hayden. It wasn't like
Well, yeah, that's fine.
yeah.
He reacted, but yeah, no, I mean,
Don't go back.
Well,
to that.
see, okay,
I know. I'm trying to move.
Yeah.
you off.
Hayden. See that's the difference between him and Luke.
Yeah.
He's actually still relatively young.
Right.
He can pull it off.
yeah,
Right.
Like what they did with Luke, where they like mixed
Yeah.
his voice
with a
Don't-
different
don't do
actor,
that.
right? With a different
Just get
actor
a different
and
actor,
everything. Yeah.
dude.
They were playing with the
Yeah, I
toys in
get
the
it.
sandbox. They
I
were
get
just
it. He's Star Wars royalty. He's been around since the beginning.
Skylark says hashtag keep the rinks.
He needs
keep the-
Keep
just
the wrinkles.
just stop.
Or Hannah said, "It
stop.
looks good if you close your eyes."
It looks yeah. If he wasn't
It
there,
must
it
be
would
an
have been
artist
better.
thing. It must be an artist thing.
And Ellie Blair.
It's called attention to
frenemies on
detail.
target.
So I agree that I think it should be the best that it could possibly be, and I think this is the best that Disney Star Wars can possibly do. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's the absolute best thing, but for
It's
me,
the
coming
best
from
they can do, Dustin.
no, I'm saying
The
the
best.
best that Disney Star Wars can do is what I'm
Oh,
saying.
okay,
Yeah,
that's,
I'm not saying it's the best
I
that can be
understand.
done.
Backhanded compliment.
I
Yes.
think you guys need a hug.
But come here, boy.
Don't touch me.
No, but
I will
what
die
I'm
on
saying,
this hill.
For me, it's more the story aspect of it.
Yeah.
I
Does
look
it
at it
fit?
more from that.
Right.
So
And so does
I'm a little bit more
Filoni.
forgiving. I can understand an artist's perspective, your perspective of it, but for me, coming from a story, it still had weight
Right.
to it, and I can understand.
Right.
And there might be more of what we're going into and why he is the way he is, and maybe he's it. I think Bismo even had a great discussion on or a video on this. Like maybe
Mhm.
it's not as good as we think it is type situation. Like what if this is
Yeah.
actually like an evil entity trying to trick Ahsoka and coming to
trying
Ahsoka,
to look like
yeah,
Anakin.
trying to look like Anakin. That's why it's slightly off as well.
Yeah.
Nah,
You know,
I don't
know.
think Disney's that smart.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, Maracas
Well,
smoke.
Dave
so.
Filoni's
It all-
here.
yeah, it's
Ask
all
him.
up to
Mariah
Filoni's thing, but
smokes, so
I'm just saying, like, that was yeah. Honestly, that was
Dave Filoni's here. Hey, what's up, Dave?
Hey,
Thanks
what's-
for joining.
hey Dave,
Thank you,
Why
Dave.
did you do that?
You got some splaining to do, Dave.
got some splaining to do.
Oh my goodness, I need to know, Dave. If you're really Dave, like, give us a sign.
Give us a sign.
Yes, I
I
mean,
wanna know.
it was a powerful ending to the episode, though, because we
Right.
didn't know where they were going. Like, well, did she die?
But it could have
she
been
left-
better.
She went off the edge quickly, though. Like she like
Oh, she
rocketed
did. Yeah,
down.
Yeah, she's gone.
Like she was
Yeah, it was
flying.
fast.
She's completely
Goes back
dead.
to Hannah's
Yeah.
point. I think.
Yeah,
you
let's
wanted me to
jump
call
back
I
into
would love
that.
to do that. Yeah, because there was a lot of action and it led up to that moment between her and Balin. But yeah, before that, Hannah had a great thought, great question. Can we read that one?
Yes. So Ahsoka's line: "Anger leads to power quickly, but unbalances you." And then in
Yes.
this episode, she sort of taps into the dark side to save Sabine from Shin, and then Ahsoka is defeated by Balin.
Yeah. So it's a perfect.
Are we out?
You're fine.
Oh,
No,
sorry.
no.
Yeah.
You were giving us.
Oh well. Here's-
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
okay.
buffering a little bit.
Buffering a
Hopefully
little
everything's
bit.
working. Yeah, we're
Buffering.
slowing down.
We're
But
at
no,
we're not at 2 hours.
no,
Alright,
it's just
cool.
What
no,
the heck,
something's
man?
acting. It's blinking for a
It's
minute.
just a warning.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that's a perfect. She basically describes herself later. She became
Yeah,
unbalanced.
yeah.
Balin unbalanced her,
Yeah.
and she was quick
Unbalanced and Balin.
to use the dark side against Shin, which I do want to point that spot out. That was epic, though.
Yeah.
Okay,
It
Shin
was.
walked up and was going to grab the map, and Ahsoka thought that
Dude.
Sabine
Yeah.
was dead.
It got
Just
really
like-
dark.
Dang, man, that was some force power right there,
Yeah.
dude.
Oh, okay.
It was really, really dark.
It's definitely a live stream. So if you're seeing any technical difficulties, we
I think
do
it's
apologize.
still pretty smooth.
I think we're still pretty smooth.
Like
we might be
peanut
buffering just a
butter.
little bit.
We're good.
We
No,
have
there was a
had some-
problem. When I'm over here, I can't control everything the same. I can't pilot the ship. I have a Merak ghost piloting the ship over there.
A smoke
And he got
ghost.
stabbed by Ahsoka when he tried to spin his line. So
Dang it,
it's all good. We're all good. We're live.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, seriously, what were we saying?
Yeah, she just
Ahsoka,
threw.
yeah.
Yeah, she like Bismo saying in the check. She just threw Shin like a rag doll.
Yeah, that was
That was
crazy.
crazy.
Dude, Shin definitely has a slight case of severe brain damage after that. I'm not even gonna
Slight
lie.
Case of severe
Yeah.
pain.
Name that reference. That is a deep one.
That is a deep one.
Super deep.
Oh man, yeah. So that was crazy though. Did you think? Did some people think that she died? We were speculating before
Yeah.
that she might.
I figured she was going to be
and a lot of
knocked out
people
or
might
something.
die.
Now it's-
That was what was
Died.
crazy.
Okay.
But technically, Ahsoka did die, so we did kind of call that.
Well,
Barack
did she though?
died.
Did she die or
maybe-
did she just go through a portal?
Nobody's really ever gone.
Nobody knows
The trouble is.
of the trouble I've seen.
That was crazy. I did like seeing her. I mean, it was dark the way she handled that.
Yeah.
But it was a case in point for Balin.
Yeah.
Balin was definitely like, look, it's your fault. Like, you got to own up to this.
Mhm.
You and your master screwed the galaxy. And that's why he said inevitable when she pulled out the lightsaber. Like, she just went straight to aggressive negotiations.
I am inevitable.
Yeah, but that was a crazy dark side scene right there. And it unbalanced her, and she got tossed over the cliff.
Yep. And she only used one lightsaber.
Yeah, why didn't she pull out the second one? I
don't
think it was
know.
just probably because that was a little goofy to me.
It was.
It was because they knew she was going to try and reach for the map the whole time.
Right.
But she could quickly put it away and reach for the map.
Also, speaking of reaching for the map,
Yes.
just slice the map. Why do you got to hold it?
Right.
Like, literally.
Why burn your
I
hand?
was thinking to myself, I was like, why did she pick it up? Her hand's burning.
Her hands be burning.
Well, she
Cut it.
didn't have much time. She was fighting so hard against Balin. She just ran.
Yeah.
She
But
had-
also, apparently the map's quite resilient because
Yeah.
Balin holds his saber there
Dude.
for like a good 5 minutes before it actually
yeah.
breaks.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Crazy.
And yeah, it was a little weak sauce when
Yeah.
she was reaching for it. That was
Yeah.
funny. But
She's like,
something I saw online that I thought was hilarious was actually she grabs the map and then it burns her hand. And the scene that somebody showed online was from, you know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
Indiana Jones.
The Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Raiders of the Lost
Yeah.
Ark. And
Oh
the
my
evil
gosh.
dude, that's how they were able to, they had the map on there and that's where they were able to find it too.
Oh my gosh.
So is that how they're going to track down?
Yeah.
They're going to totally pull an Indiana Jones and
Right.
Ahsoka's burnt hand
Yep.
is how they're going to get the coordinates to the other galaxy.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
I know.
That'd be
I saw that
genius.
online. It wasn't my idea. It was hilarious though. When I saw
You know,
it.
but that was quite an emotional moment when
Mhm.
Yeah, she has
Sabine
feelings.
sees Ahsoka is gone.
Okay, yeah. So
Yeah, let's jump into that.
the whole like her giving up the map.
Right.
You have to think about this. She just saw Ahsoka fly over the edge.
Yeah, but you didn't know though.
The only other person that is alive right now in her mind is Hera,
Jason.
which is she
Ezra.
doesn't know they're coming, so they're
Yeah.
far off. So really all she has left is Ezra, who she hasn't seen for how many years?
right.
You know?
For her, yeah.
So
It's
it
the only
kinda makes
family
sense.
and that even ties in to
Yeah.
a bigger point here that I really wanted to get to as well. We find out why Ahsoka and Sabine. I think this is almost one of the biggest reveals of the episode.
Yeah, and it's
is-
like a
Yeah.
blink and you miss it.
Yeah, it is. But
Yeah.
Balin, I like how he just like
He's just
breathes
dumping
in,
dialogue.
like,
yeah.
just reads her mind.
Yep.
And then just tells her everything, like just read her like an open book. It was crazy, and I loved it. And it was just like the reveal we get is because Ahsoka didn't trust her, that's why her family dies on Mandalore. That's a reason to be catty.
Yeah.
That's a reason to have trust issues.
And it's like, oh, that makes sense.
I
that's
want to
why
see
they
that
hate each
story
other.
though.
Yeah.
Did they die in the Night of 1,000 Tears? Is that what happened?
I think so.
Could she have prevented that? Could Sabine have possibly prevented that? Ahsoka and Sabine? Is that
Probably.
what they're alluding to? Or
I
It's
think
possible, Pig.
she didn't trust her. He said she didn't. Your master didn't trust you once, right? And
Yep.
that's why your parents are dead.
yeah, your family's
Your
dead.
family's dead.
Which also
Yeah.
was a perfect lead in to why you need to give me the map because the only family you have left
Yeah.
is by going with us to get, to find
Yep.
this person.
To
using
get
the
your
map.
You will be
brother-
reunited.
Your brother,
Your brother.
or your
Brother.
boyfriend, your love interest. This is why
He
I
said
was
brother.
laughing about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Ezra Bean, baby, is it back?
I
No,
don't
he
know
said
what they're
family,
doing.
right?
Bismo.
He said
He said
family.
family, but I think Ezra Bean's coming. I think
Yeah.
they're pulling a George Lucas here.
Yep.
I mean, she
Brother,
was
sister thing,
really,
but
really
love
torn
interest.
there, and I guess if either that or she's going dark, right?
Yep.
I mean, she
You
wants
were my
what she
brother, Ezra. You weren't supposed to love me.
Skylar, brotherly love.
Yeah, I don't know.
Brother,
I am pinned here.
I am pinned here.
Sorry, what were you saying, Dan?
No, I'm just saying. Ellie Blair said, "Rest in peace, Sabine's family." Yeah, I know it was kind of one of those
that
moments.
was a big reveal.
It's
I
like,
mean-
really? That happened off screen?
Was-
You didn't show us that?
Maybe
Yeah.
it ties to Mandalorian, at some other point, or the film that he's going to make. Sorry, fact checker.
Hopefully, no. I was just gonna say, was Balin twisting. I mean, what he read in her mind was he twisting it, obviously, to get his own goal achieved.
Yeah, probably.
Well, yeah, obviously. But he was telling truth
I
because
think
that's what he
Well,
is
that's
about
the truth according to Sabine.
from a certain point of view.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So we
from
need
a certain
point of
Ahsoka.
view.
So
Ahsoka,
faith
maybe
in
Ahsoka did something.
Yeah.
She knew they were already dead, or
Yeah.
there was something they, and she told her they
know.
whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's that was
To be determined.
it was very emotional, and that was why I guess that slow dialogue in the beginning maybe paid off there because you're like, oh, okay, I see what's going to happen. She's got to make a big decision.
Yep.
And she watched Ahsoka possibly die.
Plummet.
Yeah,
I think
she
she
was
was
definitely very
ground.
emotional.
She
Here at this
was
point.
she was emotional.
She doesn't
but
have anybody else. I
Yeah,
mean,
no,
what else is
she-
she gonna do? She's gonna fight 2 Sith.
She's got
that she can barely
Hera,
defeat
but
the
maybe
apprentice.
I guess she already got left behind by Hera.
She doesn't
Hera
know
was
Hera's
like, no,
coming
we're not
in."
coming. Yeah.
Yeah, so that she doesn't think anybody's coming
No.
to save her.
So she's
Hu
literally
Yang
all by
would be
herself.
the only person to save her, and I mean, to be honest, he's not going to stand a chance against Balin and Shin.
Right.
I
And
don't
if
know,
she
man.
learned
He's
anything-
got some pretty good moves.
I mean, I would like for him
Yeah.
to stand.
Jab,
They
jab.
could just fly away and go back to Lothal and she
Fly
can hunker
away.
down.
But Shin,
Right.
when Shin came back
Yeah.
after she got smashed in that rock and she was force choking Sabine
Yeah.
after she gave him,
Dude, yeah.
and then Balin was like, no, Shin, let him go. Right? I
Down,
promised
Shin.
her.
Bad
I'm a
girl.
Yeah.
Spray ball.
I know.
Bad shit.
Like, I'm a
Bad Shin. No.
I'm a man of my word. What did he say? He's like, I'm a man of my word or something like that.
Yeah.
Unlike her master.
master.
Oh
honored
yeah,
my
he threw
promise.
another dig
Dude,
at
it
her.
was a good dig too.
He's
I
like
liked it.
just
I liked
dumping all over Ahsoka. He's like, you're
He
master.
took up-
You're-
That's what I
Jump
said.
on Ahsoka.
He's reasonable. He's respectable.
Right.
He'll keep his promise.
Well, he didn't want to kill Ahsoka, right? He
Yeah,
just did what he
probably
had to
not,
do.
no.
So he said truth
Because
that was a big
there's
thing.
there's so few Jedi left.
That is because he is based off of a certain knight from Arthurian lore that I will go into in a theory video I
Good.
have that's coming up. So
Yeah,
stay tuned for that.
Hannah says Balin keeping his word was great.
Right.
That was
Yeah. It
That's
was
a great
interesting.
villain.
You never know what he's going to do, right? He
See,
could just
'cause-
turn.
Yeah. I thought
Lord Balin too. They said
Yeah,
kept
they
saying
said Lord Balin.
I
Yes.
like that they said that.
Shin was gonna come up and like stab her while they were
Yeah, I was
her and
wondering,
Balin were talking.
or like,
Yeah.
or the classic like villain thing, like, oh, you'll see him again in heck.
In heck.
You know
You'll
what
be
I
re-
mean?
You'll be reunited in death.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's what I
With the
thought they were
Force.
going to do.
Yeah,
Yep.
Robert G has some good points.
Yeah.
Balin doesn't
Say
want to
it.
kill a Jedi.
True.
And Balin is still a Jedi, so the title may have been regarding him.
Fallen Jedi.
Fallen Jedi, yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
also,
No, it was Ahsoka falling over the edge.
Yeah.
It had multiple
Jedi.
meanings.
it did have a lot of multiple meanings. Also, did Balin know that Ahsoka would go into the world between worlds, and that potentially he knew that
saved
she
her.
needed to be redeemed?
If
Also-
the legend tells, if you jump from this cliff on this certain day when we're about to jump throughout the galaxies, you will be saved.
3.
Maybe the
That's the other
voices she
side,
heard
you
in the
see.
temple told her that.
Right,
Maybe, or maybe Balin knew that. She didn't even know that. And he's
Right.
like, I'm going to push you
Yeah.
to the edge.
Also, are Balin and Shin the Loth wolves
I know. I
in
saw
the
that, yeah.
painting? Did you see that? Who was that that came out with that theory?
No idea.
That was like theory or somebody like that online that came out that said because it's the dark wolf and then the light wolf.
Yep.
And that's what Balin and Skull are,
Balin and Skull.
or Shin and Hati. Sorry,
No,
Shin-
Shin and Balin.
In the image.
No, in the
the mural.
Oh,
the
yeah,
mural.
okay, that's
well,
what you're
and
saying.
the
Yeah, yeah,
legend,
yeah,
the
yeah,
legend.
I got
the
you.
legend Hati. But yeah, they're chasing the sun, but the dark ones. But what if they were there the whole time guiding Ahsoka, Ezra, and because
Right.
they're between world beings or something like that? That got trippy. We don't need to go there. But
We do, though.
Dustin Hunter said, please read the Arthurian lore from a scroll, Dustin.
From a scroll. He wants
From
you to read
scroll.
from
The
Yeah,
tale of Sagala.
that would be an epic way to do
That would
that.
actually be
But then
cool.
Hannah says, take a nap.
No. Okay, I'll take a nap after this.
Take a sleep.
Take a sleep, young Skywalker.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's just.
He also said, do it.
Do it.
Balin said, do it.
Yeah.
It was awesome. All right.
Get
Yeah,
him.
Tamerkin said, yeah, Fallen Jedi can refer to both Balin, former Jedi, and Ahsoka, dead Jedi. So fallen.
Fallen.
It's all kinds of stuff.
Lots
And
of
it was
references.
fall.
It could have.
In the episode,
It could have been Anakin. It ended with Anakin, a fallen Jedi.
it ended with
It could have been talking about
off-brand Anakin.
off-brand Anakin.
Off-brand
no.
Anakin.
Hashtag off-brand.
Off-brand Anakin.
It was Danikin,
No, I would have looked
his
better than
evil
that.
twin.
Just kidding.
What a scene.
I mean, I just love when she turned around. When he said, he didn't call her Ahsoka. What did he
said,
call
"Hey,
her?
Snips.
Hey, Snips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Didn't
no
expect-
more emotional scene
Didn't
in Rebels.
expect to see you so soon.
Yeah. Let me.
That's what he says.
Yeah. Yeah. So what does that mean?
So she's dead, right?
Right. She looked
Yeah,
torn
right.
when she's
Is she
on.
dead? That's the big question. Is she dead, or did she just go to another plane of
I
existence
think she's
like
immortal.
Mortis?
Yeah, I think she's immortal, and there's just millions
It's
of iterations
weird.
of her.
Was it Mirai or the sister that saves her?
Yeah.
Like she's got a greater purpose that's linked to the Chosen One, and maybe she's carrying that on in some ways. And it's definitely Gandalf the Grey here. I
Yeah.
think it's confirmed to this point. She's, you know what this also reminds me of? This whole thing
The
is going to turn
beginning of the
into, no,
show.
you know what this is turning into? It's just
It's a
turning
Marvel
into,
Cinematic Universe?
what is it, The Nightmare Before Christmas? Not Nightmare. No, what's the, no, Scrooge. It's Scrooge. She's going to have to go back in time and revisit all the things that made her bad and her to realize that she needs to change, to not be like Anakin, to not be like these things and to go dark. She's going to have to become Gandalf the White that way. She's going to have to die to herself, basically, become someone new,
And
so
then-
that she can usher the galaxy into a new time of peace and prosperity.
And then they're going to redo the intro from the last episode of Rebels where she's got the staff.
I would love that.
Because
I would love that.
that's what's
they
going to happen.
didn't show the staff
Yes.
in the live action version.
Correct.
Because that's not the right version that we're
However,
Yeah, that's what
in
we were
right now.
speculating. Yeah, last night. Yep.
However,
It's definitely what's going to
It's
happen.
literally the Infinity War
Because
of
Dave
Star Wars.
Dave wants to have that moment
Or
where he's going to
Endgame.
be like, "You all thought I missed
you
that.
thought
I didn't miss
you
that.
thought
You thought the Purgle were nothing.
nothing,
were
everything,
Oh, wow.
everything.
they are everything.
They kind of are
It's
everything.
crazy.
Do you think as
Do
Hera
I think
and them are going to jump on the back of the Purgle to get to the other galaxy?
Oh, they got to.
I think they can follow in the
The wake?
tentacles of the Purgle to get there.
They're gonna
I
like
think
Yeah,
they're
I
going to
wonder.
get eaten by the Purgle and then digested by the Purgle.
Oh,
maybe
wow.
one of the Purgle might.
Noah
yeah,
or
eat them.
Jonah
Yeah.
situation.
Noah.
Yeah, yeah.
He almost got it.
Icy wanted to shout out. I just lost his name.
Shout.
The pilot.
Carson Teva.
Thank you.
Carson
Carson
Teva, yes.
Teva, yeah. That was
Yeah,
a
we
nice.
didn't go
See,
into
like
that.
I didn't
That was
think
a
we were
nice
going to
touch.
get any of that. I thought the New Republic, Hera, and them weren't even going to show up. We were so
Yeah.
busy with Ahsoka and them, but that's where it all of a sudden like Dave took it up a notch. He's like, "This is a mid-season finale. I'm going to give you something to remember it by."
Okay, do you think
He's like the connecting tissue between all these shows. Really.
Carson, yeah, well that, and then
That's not
when
a
they
weird
called in, right? It was like the worst moment, and they called in and said, "Hey," and then wasn't it Hu Yang who was like, "Yeah, we're down here. We need your help."
Yep.
They're
which
fighting.
I
Help us,
did have,
Obi-Wan
actually,
Kenobi.
that was another slight con for me.
Yeah,
Was like, did they stop? Because when they jumped into that planet, right in that space, they couldn't get out, like get a signal out because they were jamming.
that's
signal.
true.
Yeah.
So
Maybe in the
why were they trying to get the their
But
comms
when they're
up
powering
if they
up
were
the
still being
Death Star,
jammed?
when they're powering things up, shields have to drop, right? Maybe that's why.
Maybe
yeah,
that's
I
it.
guess, but I don't
Where
know.
are the ships?
I feel like that was a very minor plot hole
Okay,
because they were blocking transmissions and then they were trying to get comms up so they could reach Hera, but they couldn't reach Hera anyway if
Right.
they were blocking the transmissions. So anyway,
Yeah.
it just didn't matter at that point.
doesn't really matter. But yeah.
But as Bismo said, okay, Carson, where is Zeb?
Yeah, exactly.
What
Yeah.
was just talking with him?
It was
right?
weird that he wasn't there.
yeah, I felt
We
like
thought
that
for
was-
sure Zeb was going to be in one of those, but
and
he
then
hasn't
it kept
flied.
it was
Is he
going
flying?
through him, and we're like, oh, he's not here.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were all like,
Right.
"Where's that?"
But it does turn out that one of them was Brendan Wayne,
Brendan Wayne. Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
which is kind of crazy.
Who does stunt double for Mandalorian?
Yep.
Yeah, he is the physical
In case
portrayal.
you guys didn't know that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then we got
Also, he is John Wayne's
Wayne's
grandson.
Yeah.
John Wayne.
Which is
John
cool.
Wayne.
John Wayne.
He is.
Wu Yang.
Also, do you think Carson was just a one-off character, and he's going to go back to the New Republic, or do you think he's going to follow through
No, I think he's
and
gonna
possibly die?
help. Ooh, no, I don't think he's dying.
No.
I think he's bringing
Are you
Mando.
sure?
I think he's going to go to his friend
Yeah,
Mando, and he's
yeah,
going to bring
he's-
all of them in the season finale.
Like I said, he's
Wow.
kind of the one who's connecting everything together.
is,
So
he
he's
is.
gonna have to bounce between there, and then he's gonna have to go to Mando, and then whatever.
And that's going
other
to lead into
series are
Mando
going.
season 4.
Or yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is mostly
Maybe.
leading up to the movie. Right?
It is, but it'll be
Is
all.
the next thing gonna be a movie? I
Yeah.
don't think they're doing any
think it
other.
is.
There's just going to be a while before anything comes out. But
Yeah,
Robert
for
G
sure.
has to take off. But Jason Sindula, as he said,
Yeah.
was there. I love that. Robert G, thanks for all your takes in the chat.
Yeah,
that
thank
was
you very
you're
much.
bringing the fire tonight. Have a good night.
Yes.
Thanks for jumping in. I mean,
Chomping in.
some good stuff.
Oh yeah.
coming in the chat. But no, I mean, Jason Syndulla being with Hera and going to the fight, right into the fight. Like, she's out of there. Like, Hera's like, see you guys, I'm taking my crew. I love that.
Right.
Kind of
Yeah, that
like,
was
I'm
pretty
rebelling.
funny.
That's Hera. She's going
Once
to go
a
get her
rebel,
friends.
that line
Once a
landed
rebel,
a
always a
lot
rebel.
better than
In
it
the-
did
yeah,
in the trailer.
it's
I'll
true.
say that much.
Yes.
Once a rebel, always a rebel.
It finally, she earned that keep. Yep. It was really good. And I like seeing Jason, especially that glorious scene we got when they finally made the jump.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then that was the sound design
member
again.
berry, but yeah.
I loved the sound design. I loved the way that people died. Those pilots.
Yes, they did. Well,
And-
good thing
Yeah,
they were
that was
throwaways.
crazy.
That's
Yeah,
what I mean.
Right.
That's where the mid-season finale went from like here,
Yeah.
and it was like a Empire Strikes Back moment, is what I thought
See,
of.
I
It
thought
was,
they were
yeah.
all gonna die. I thought they were
That's-
just gonna be
that's
obliterated.
what I was afraid
like,
of.
Oh no,
Thankfully, the
you're just
important
gonna
ones.
kill off Hera and Jason and Chopper and Carson. And
At that point, I thought it could be.
generic pilots.
Yeah, right. Well, that's what I said. I'm like, we can't have Zeb. I mean, we need to have some
Yeah.
pawns that they can
Yeah.
kill off.
Yep.
But then Jason says that line.
Mhm.
He says, I have a bad feeling about this, or I
He
feel really.
doesn't. He doesn't say about this.
No.
He just
I
says,
just
"I have a
have-
bad feeling." And
I have
I'm
a
like,
bad
That's
feeling.
the last time you get
Timurkins
speaking
just
lines.
called it,
That's the
yeah.
last time
Yeah.
you get speaking.
You were so
no.
close.
No, that's what I mean. But that
You're
was.
We were this close to greatness.
Is that another tie to like him possibly being a Jedi?
Yeah,
Because
I
he
think that's
feels
definitely a reference
in- through
to
the
he's
Force,
sensing things.
True.
Right.
He's sensing ominous things to come, basically.
He's gonna be the one that defeats Balin.
Wow.
Whoa, that's a hot
Wow.
take.
He's got a lot more
crazy.
training to do.
Yeah.
He's got a lot
No,
more training.
Chopper will be the one that defeats
Chopper
Balin.
defeats Balin.
Yeah. What if Ahsoka starts to train
No, King
Jason?
King Gonk will be the one that defeats Balin. Gonk.
So-
Gonk.
He's like bigger than the Purgle.
King Kong.
Gonk. It just like shakes the whole universe. Gonk.
That's what they're going to get. King Gonk. All right,
Thrawn's
sorry.
there too, I guess.
Yeah, everybody thinks Jason's going to be a Jedi. What if Ahsoka
for sure.
trains him? Because I
What
think
if
we're getting a time
Sabine-
jump now. I think we're getting a time jump.
No, Ezra's training him.
Sabine trains him.
No, I'm saying Ahsoka, and then she's
Ahsoka's
like,
dead. She's gone.
okay.
She's done.
Or we got Hu Yang.
It's
Clearly-
her show, but she's dead.
Clearly not.
Hu Yang. What if it starts
Yang!
off with Hu Yang teaching Jason, and then he's
Right.
like,
It
okay,
could.
you have like the third highest midichlorian count. Like
Right.
you
Ooh, that
actually
would
have
be-
talent.
That would be cool.
And it breaks apart. Like Sabine has none, but she was able to do that. We got to talk about
Yeah,
it. She
yeah.
was able to do the little stone move, like slapped
Oh, yeah,
Shin
we
in the
didn't
face
touch-
with
we
the
definitely
tiny bit
didn't
of
talk
wind.
about that.
Also, Shin's face was kind of weird looking in that scene.
It was.
You have no power. I'm like,
Back to
Yeah,
why
we
you
saw that
green
too.
screened.
Why did we saw that? I saw that too.
I was like, why did they DH her? There was no need for that.
I didn't notice as much as you guys did, but
I don't. It was,
was
the
weird.
lighting
Yeah.
or something.
Something-
I mean,
Something was
Or
wrong.
I think it
were
was
they,
the
like, what's
background
it?
still.
Cut jumping, or that's not what it's
It
called.
wasn't.
Frame jumping.
frame jumping.
That-
Yeah.
might
But
have
they've
been
been
that.
doing like micro
Like
seconds
during the
of that.
fighting, but not in that
No,
scene.
in
She was
that
talking.
I think it was
Yeah.
just how
Aw.
crazy she looked in
Yeah.
that moment. I don't
See,
know.
but
who's even-
Yeah,
I-
but her face was like super smooth.
they de-aged her.
Yeah, that's what I felt like they did. And I was like,
DH.
why did they? If I find out that there is CGI in that scene,
Did anybody else
I'm
in the
coming
chat?
to Disney.
Yeah, did anybody else in the
I will
chat
beat you
notice
down.
that scene when she got slapped in the face? And then what'd she say right after that?
You
You
have
have no power.
No, she said you made a
Oh.
bad mistake, or you're going to regret this.
No, that was
No,
she
that was
said that
after
when
Ahsoka ran off.
Yeah.
She told us.
Okay, so she
Said
said you have
Ahsoka
no
got
power
lost.
when
you
she
have no
slapped
power.
her?
That
Yeah.
that
That's
whole
when she
part,
had the
her
loopy
face
face.
looks
Sabine
really
used the force
goofy.
there. She
Yes.
definitely used the force
Yeah.
because
All
it
you hear is
made the
smack.
force sound. It was like,
It was like,
but it
then it
did
was like-
nothing. Actually, there's a hilarious short that we want to make about.
oh
that,
my
but-
gosh,
It's
gonna be
it's got to be done.
it's gonna be epic.
But yeah. But then it was clever though how she got out of it. We weren't sure how she was going to get out of it. I like the fact that she brought in more of her Mandalorian roots to
Yeah.
take advantage of that
It was
situation.
sneaky.
Sneaky.
It reminded me of Mando.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
which makes sense.
But also that fight
Wrist
scene,
blasters.
that fight scene between her and Shin.
It was better.
You were like, why is she trying to get close to her?
oh, when she had the guns.
She's chasing
you
her
have
with
ranged
gun-
weapons.
You have ranged
Why are
weapons!
you running at her?
And Shin's like, parkour.
All right, couple things I got to talk about in the chat here.
All right, do it.
Okay.
First off,
Yet.
Mrs. Manrique, for sure. I like Hannah's take. First of all, there may be a chance of Shin and Sabine becoming reluctant partners to accomplish a common goal moving forward.
I think one's gonna turn the other
Maybe.
for sure.
I don't know. Shin's pretty dark.
Yeah.
Number two,
Maybe.
Mrs.
Is she
Manrique.
though?
I like this a lot because this is what I was hinting at. By the way, Balin says Ezra is like family, to
When you're here, you're
Ahsoka, instead of saying
They're
something,
all actually just going to Olive Garden.
Space Olive Garden.
instead of saying something more, because if he embarrassed her, he'd lose his manipulative hold over her.
Could be.
Why would
Maybe.
that? Oh, I mean, yeah, it would be
Because-
embarrassing, but I'm just thinking, I'm mulling it over in my head.
Like, is she really in love with Ezra?
I think so.
it
And
would
that's
just-
and he knows that. He can sense that.
yes,
And so we got
But
this
he-
brother thing. I
Yeah.
thought of you like a sister.
because he saw her watching the recording.
Correct.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, but he means more to me than that. And that's why she's willing to go get him, because she's got a lot more invested in that family relationship. She wants to start a family with Ezra, is what I'm getting
Well,
at.
and also it's
and
like
go to Olive Garden.
And
but also-
definitely.
also it's like, but like brother versus like boyfriend. I mean, you can find a new boyfriend, but you can't find a new brother. That's the thing.
Right.
So it makes sense for that weight side of things for him to use that terminology. Although I do think it's an Ezra Beaton situation.
Yeah.
But
I think
continue,
it could be. So,
Dan. You had more? That you
number
wanna talk about?
2,
Number 2.
B.
Bismo. Sabine,
Bismo,
force
yeah.
sensitive. Bismo was right from the beginning.
Bismo's always right.
Force sensitive
Except for when he's
Sabine.
wrong, but he's not wrong. That makes him right.
Except for Andor.
Except
Like
for
they hinted-
Andor.
she-
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
except for Andor.
Fact checker
Fact
said
checker
it.
said it.
I said it quietly.
But she
Yeah,
was
but we reiterated it.
baby
Oh,
force
man.
sensitive. That's all. Baby force sensitive.
Baby force
But
sensitive.
she did do
Baby.
that. I would be okay with being able to do that.
When's that
Baby do.
baby? What baby? Ha.
I do like the fact that Balin exploited the weakness and that they didn't go the predictable route of her trying to shoot Balin and then
See,
Sabine
yeah, that's what I
getting
thought
killed.
was going to happen. I was like,
Right.
wow, he's dead. He's
Yeah.
gone.
They were definitely like playing that up, and then the fact that she just willingly gave it to him and then went with him, I think was a better story choice. It
Yeah.
also shows flaws in Sabine, or maybe she's playing it like, oh well, if I go with him, I can get Ezra, and then we can take him out together.
Yeah.
You know,
and then go
she's
out
like,
to
this is-
Olive Garden.
Technically, it's
Because when you're here, you're family.
your family.
I just think she knows
It's a
there's.
strategical move, actually. She made
Strategical?
there. Yes.
However,
Strategic.
is it the right
Don't-
move? Is it the right move, Dustin?
It's not. It's not the right move. She was coming from
no,
a
she
place
made
from
the right
emotion.
move.
Is it the right move?
It's the right move.
She was emotional.
Thrawn, Dustin. What about Thrawn?
Well, that's the.
See, she's going to
problem.
realize her mistake when she
Yeah.
sees Thrawn and be like,
Thrawn
oh no.
is inevitable.
Maybe Sabine
I am.
doesn't mind Thrawn. They defeated him once. They can defeat him again with Ezra's help.
Ezra
Yeah.
defeated him once.
Right.
Yeah.
But Sabine helped him.
The
She gave him
Purgle.
permission.
Did she, though?
She gave him permission. And when she gave him permission, she said, no matter what, I'm coming back to get you. And that's why she gave it back to Balin.
Yeah, because she had
Because
to.
you're my brother.
Because she could have stopped him then and called him out and be like, this isn't how it's going to go. You're not allowed to go. But she single-handedly was the last person that Ezra communicated with when he snuck away.
right.
Sneak
Rebel
away.
season finale.
Right. Yeah. And that's
There's
a
some
challenging
connection.
thing. If you're sacrificing yourself, it's one thing. But if you're sacrificing another person that you love, like Ezra in this case, that's a much more difficult choice to make. You know, it's
It was
easier
an
to
emotional
sacrifice
choice.
yourself than it is somebody else.
Well,
I think that's part of the reason why she made that as well.
Tamerkins, said not the right move. She let herself be emotionally manipulated
Yes.
after Ahsoka warned her. So it was another
Yes.
play on emotional
Yep.
Yeah, attachments.
mistakes.
Well, and that
attachments.
was passed down technically from Anakin to Ahsoka to
Anakin.
Sabine.
Sure. And Tamerkins also said, I'm worried about Sabine at this point. She has shown she is willing to accept the dark side to reach a goal, which never pays off, no matter how noble the goal.
Mm-hmm.
What?
True.
What are you talking about?
Come at me, bro.
Come at me, bro. We have cookies. Come to the dark
Well, then
side.
Hunter said it worked for him when he stole a kid's cupcake in the sixth grade.
Done that many times.
Skylark said if Sabine didn't accept the offer, she would have been killed.
I don't think so.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I think
You
I
don't,
don't
think
think
so?
so.
She got owned up and down
I
by
disagree.
everybody.
I think
I
they would have
disagree.
taken
How
her
would-
prisoner
no.
forcibly.
Maybe she would have gone to the world between
Maybe.
worlds.
Maybe she was valuable enough to keep her alive, but I think he wouldn't
Because
have stopped
they would have
Shin. Though I think
known.
Shin would have killed her.
Yeah, that's
Well, they had to get the ball, and they would have killed
Yeah,
her before she shot
map
it.
from Treasure Planet.
Here's the thing:
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think she should have shot it, and it didn't break. I think that would have made more
It
sense.
reflected and hit her instead.
And
Well,
knocked
couldn't
her
they have
out.
And she
force
died.
grabbed it from her. I
They
mean,
could have,
He could have.
Yeah,
They're
that's true.
strong
but they
enough
were
to read
acting like,
minds.
oh
but
no.
he's showing her trust.
But what I'm saying is he had to get the lightsaber for 10 minutes and cut through it. You think one blaster bolt from Sabine's super bolt
Oh,
would shoot
true.
through it and
It
blow
would
it
have
up?
just
It might mess it
ricocheted.
up.
You might
enough.
have to go pop, 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 like 20 times to actually blow the thing
I
up.
think it would have just
Now
shot
we're
back
getting
into the
sweaty
gun
with it.
and the gun would have exploded, and then she has no hand.
Yeah.
That's how she loses her hand.
That's how she loses.
I'm
her
thinking
hand.
she gets shot in the same spot as the lightsaber stab. She's like, oh.
Oh no, not again.
We didn't get any callback to that in the battle.
Good thing
we got
there's
nothing.
nothing there that's vital.
Swipe right.
You know, Qui-Gon died of the same wound, but I can survive.
I can survive.
I will survive.
Don't start that again. We don't need to go into that again.
That video though is hilarious.
That video is hilarious.
He's just like, oh, what?
Yes. Oh my goodness, that was hilarious. All right, but yeah, I think we pretty much covered everything. Is there any other points you guys want to go into? Is the chat saying anything else in regards to it?
Hannah
I'm
says,
sure they got a lot.
I keep saying this, but Sabine's passion is her greatest Mandalorian strength and her greatest Jedi weakness.
Right, and that's why the Mandalorians are basically the opposite of Jedi, because Jedi are, peace within. They're not attached. It's not through
Inner
others.
peace.
Do we achieve greatness? And with the Mandalorians, it's like, no, it's through others working together, and through our passions, we can accomplish these goals. So they're definitely very different, and Mandalorians are definitely more passionate people and quick to anger in a lot of ways. Yes. So it's definitely a weird dichotomy between the two, and I think that's part of the reason why she struggles so much, and that's why they've been showing that throughout this entire season, and why she can't even use the Force, because she's not balanced enough in some ways to use it.
But she can wield the darksaber?
Yeah, well, she kind of had to.
I'm not understanding how the Force works.
Yeah, I know, it's kind of weird, but it was actually whenever she
make up your mind, Dave.
It was kind of more whenever she used the darksaber, she finally let things go. Like that's whenever she kind of had a moment where she realized that she was holding things in. And it was kind of a therapeutic moment for her. She was
constipated.
Emotionally. When she let it all go. And she admitted to herself, too, and even said it out loud. And that was the step she needed to be able to wield the darksaber. That unlocked that ability. And for the darksaber to feel at peace in her hand, because she was not unbalanced at that point.
The darksaber is a living entity.
It kind of is.
Yeah.
Just like our fan film.
Your fan film's a living entity?
Dude. Yes. No, the saber.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
Thank
Yes,
you.
I knew
It
that.
does kind of possess like the ring.
The ring. The one ring to rule them all. But yeah, great episode.
It was.
Go ahead.
It was good.
The last thing I'm going to say is I gave it a 5 out of 5 because
6 out of 5.
6. No, it's 5 out of 5.
Oh,
We're getting a
he
6
reserves
later.
the right.
He reserves the right.
oh sorry.
Because it
'Cause he's the
reminded
pilot.
me of an Empire Strikes Back like film, which is
love
my
that.
favorite Star Wars film of all time. And it brought the weight that I needed. It brought the stakes that you needed.
Yeah.
Not Dustin stakes,
Oh,
but
man.
real stakes.
High stakes.
And it
I
had
do like steak.
the action that was solid, the lightsaber duels that we like.
Yeah.
It was solid.
Yeah, agreed.
It had
the good guys-
reveals that we wanted, and then I got to end it with World Between Worlds and an emotional tie between Anakin and Ahsoka saying snips, which reminded me so much of Rebels.
Also, why do
It's
you
powerful.
think they had him in the Revenge of the Sith attire and not
That's a good question.
The
And his
Clone
saber,
Wars
right?
attire.
Wasn't his? What was his saber? The people were like, "Is
They
it
sh- I
Vader's
didn't-
saber?" It was Anakin's saber.
I think it was Anakin's saber.
right?
I think.
I don't know.
I didn't, I didn't go
admit-
frame for frame. I need to look. Frame
I
for
thought
frame.
he was gonna be
Yeah.
in his like Clone Wars gear.
Well,
Right.
Also, was he missing a hand? Was he still with the robotic hand?
These are the
actually,
things.
I don't
Why
know.
would you
I
show
didn't even
yourself
notice
with a
that.
robotic hand?
I was too busy by the rubber face, or too bothered by the rubber
The
face
rubber
to
face.
notice.
So, like looking
Too busy
forward,
by the rubber
guys.
face?
Like looking forward into next week.
I think it's gonna
Oh,
be
I've got a
good.
question on that too.
And Mrs. Manrique says, "Is Ahsoka using Purgle or World Between Worlds to get to the other galaxy? Is Anakin really Anakin? Is what's going on? How does Hera and them
Who
help
am
at all
I?
at this point? Is there?
Right.
Do we not see Ahsoka till the end of the season?
No. What's going to happen is we're going to have two stories going on. We're going to have Ahsoka going through timelines to help her become Ahsoka the White, and we're
Cool.
going to have Ezra, Balin, Skull, Morgan Elsbeth looking for Thrawn and Ezra, and we're going to be getting that storyline, and they're going to be going parallel, or it's going to be one episode coming together. I think that's the way it's going to go. And we might not even see Ahsoka get to that other galaxy, but she might use the World Between Worlds to go back in time to help prevent or at least prepare the galaxy for Thrawn's return.
Yep.
That's what I think is going to happen.
It's either gonna be really good or really bad.
There is no in between.
There isn't. It's either gonna go in a direction that we're like, wow, this is mind blowing, or we're gonna be like, really? What are we doing? What's going on here?
It's kind of like a new show
Yeah.
because now we have entered into completely uncharted territory.
Yeah, which I like.
Which is why
Yeah.
I think this episode is the best
Yeah.
because it set up. It really
We're getting
made
weird
the
with it.
first. It made the
We're
first
getting
4
sweaty with it.
episodes worth all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really paid off. Like the first 3 were kind of. I mean, the first 2 were kind of like, eh.
First
the third
2
one
were kinda
improved. The fourth was
rehash.
like, okay, it all came together. Like this is what
coming
Filoni's
together,
doing.
yeah.
He's not only blowing our mind with new story, he's bringing back characters in a mid-season finale, like we got with fan service with Luke showing up, destroying. We got that in the mid-season finale with
Right.
Anakin. Are you
Right.
kidding me? Like that's a huge reveal for a mid-season. So what the heck is he going to give us in the season finale?
I know.
Yeah.
If anything,
Yeah,
or is
could
he
be
just going to
huge.
tie these things together?
Huge.
He gave us
Huge.
World Between Worlds in the mid-season finale.
Well,
That
did-
could have been they could have been a 4 mini series and it's done right
Yeah,
now.
and to your point too, I'd say the whole Empire Strikes Back, the good guys lost. I mean,
Right.
they definitely lost.
It
this
feels like we
episode.
lost.
And you have to have that for the good guys to overcome and win in the end, or at least learn enough to be prepared to win in the end, to have a fighting chance. So it's good storytelling for the fact that the good guys lost. So
Yep.
I really like that.
Same.
So that's
Fact check.
fact check. You had
Well,
something.
yeah. So speaking of next week, did you guys see the movie? The Star Wars is
Oh,
releasing
yeah, how
the
they're
next episode in theaters, so not a movie.
Yeah.
Really?
I
Yeah,
did not
next
see that.
Tuesday.
Mhm.
Yeah, big,
saw that.
big thing because they're
What?
saying
Wait,
it's
episode 5 is
Yeah,
going to be.
you can watch it in theaters.
What?
In
in-
select
in
theaters.
select
No.
AMC theaters
Yeah.
or something.
Well, Dave did direct this one, so I think
It's a big one, obviously. if
big
they're
one.
doing
It's
it
gonna be
in
2 hours
cinema.
long.
no, it's actually 49 minutes.
Don't
and 50
tell me
seconds. So it's technically
facts.
46 minutes.
Bismo said it was smart how he did it. So much traction on social media. Now everyone will go
Yeah.
watch next week. They even sold screenings. Go check it out.
Yeah.
Dude, I would love to see that in theater if I could.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
it's coming out before it comes out on Disney Plus.
So you get
So it's
first
on
dibs.
Tuesday, I think, but earlier in the day.
Like you can
Oh,
get an
wow.
afternoon showing.
Nice.
Yeah, you get
Ooh,
early
let's go to the
access.
matinee.
Yeah, we better
Hey.
figure out where that is and when that is because I want to.
How long
watch
is
that.
it?
Big deal.
How long is it?
49 minutes and 50 seconds. So
Oh,
40,
man, that's a good
46
length.
minutes if you cut out all the.
It depends on how far we got to travel. Might
Yeah.
not even be worth it.
I mean, and yeah, Dustin Witherall made a good point. Is that because we get the grand reveal?
Yeah, it's
of the
probably
Grand
gonna be-
Thrawn.
Master.
I think it's gonna
Probably
be
Thrawn.
It makes sense. It does. Are we gonna get it? Are we gonna get a mid-season trailer, Dustin?
Maybe.
I hope
don't
not.
know. I think so. That's kind of been Dave's.
You
MO.
hope not. We've
But
got
at
a
the
lot of
same
trailers.
time,
I
like-
know. I don't want to see
I know. At the
anymore.
same time, I
just
don't
wanna be
really want to, but I
surprised.
think it's
Yeah.
the fact that the writer's strike and the actor strike right now. I think they have to do some promotion to keep
They
hyping
do.
this up.
Not at this point. People were freaking out after yesterday's episode. So
Yeah.
the fans are doing it for them. Just let the show be the show.
I know. I do.
Yeah.
It does make me nervous because we were able to predict a lot of things that were going to happen
Yeah.
in this episode.
Yep.
Mhm.
That happened because of the trailer.
Well, and
Yeah.
they released
Except-
like 20 trailers with the same 5 seconds of footage.
Yeah, and a lot of
But he hid
Dude,
a lot from us,
come on.
and like the Balin
That's
stuff
true.
that we
That's
got,
true.
like that
Yeah.
wasn't all his dialogue. There was so much more dialogue.
Oh,
His
yeah, for sure.
fighting
He
and
just-
everything.
Like Balin, every time he's on screen, you're like, "Oh, this is probably all we're gonna get of him," and then he does something cooler and says something cooler, and then just kept going and kept going. I'm like, from the beginning, I'm like, every time I saw Balin and Shin on screen, and even Elsbeth when they were together, and
You're
Marak,
like, yes, give us more.
yeah, I was like, I want all of this, and then I did episode 4, like just built in even more. I liked seeing Shin fight
Yeah.
and how she got away. She didn't die, but then Ahsoka wrecked her against the rock, and then she force chokes Sabine, and then Balin. Every word that Balin says,
Yeah.
and
so
then
stoic.
the only disappointment is this Marak being just a thing.
Oh my
but
gosh.
that's the question: is he done? And is
you
it
know-
is it truly like a setting up, like Dustin said,
Yeah.
something bigger?
See, that's why I'll wait till the end of the season. Knowing Dave, I'll wait till the end of the season to really pass too much judgment on most of the things we're seeing. Because
Sure.
with Dave, he does like to pay things pay off a lot of the time with
Mhm.
Dave. So more than any other season that we've seen or Star Wars show that's come out, I'm reserving a lot of judgment until we see the end of this season.
And that
because-
makes you weak.
Well, maybe.
But
I
here's-
mean, I'm still
yeah.
obviously still I don't like it right now at the moment, but that's why I'm not totally crushed because faith in Filoni in some ways. You know what I mean? That I feel like he can make it amount to something.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, then I will be upset with him even more.
Does this so far silence or give you hope for the future of Star Wars?
Not 100%.
Really?
I mean, it's
Wow. I thought I was a Sith.
no. I'm not
I
saying.
mean, does it silence any of the
You heard
haters
it
that
here,
just love
folks.
to hate on
Dustin
everything
hates
Star Wars?
I don't hate Star Wars. I'm just saying.
Dustin hates this show.
I don't.
Dustin
this
cannot
is-
stand Ahsoka.
This is the best thing that we've gotten when it comes to like maybe making the universe right. At least we're jumping to a new galaxy in some ways. We're bringing in new villains.
But which universe is being made right?
Yeah, so that's the interesting thing. Also, they could play it real smart here and retcon the sequel trilogy with the World Between Worlds
God, I hope so.
and the new galaxy. They could really do that. I still just think that the people in charge of Star Wars still don't know how to handle things properly, and I'm just not totally sold. Maybe ask me that question at the end of this season, and I might give you a different answer. But at this point, I'm not completely sold because I don't think they've done what they needed to do with the show so far.
But you're getting Thrawn, and
I know.
you've always wanted Thrawn.
No, I agreed,
so-
but that also
but
gives
it's
me
live
pause.
action Thrawn.
Yeah, he's nervous that they're going to
I'm
mess
nervous
up
about
Thrawn.
Thrawn
Yeah,
because if they
I know,
mess him
but-
up,
Because
I
he was
might
so good in
hate
the
it.
animated, and now it's live
it's
action. You're
Filoni's
like,
version of
eh.
Thrawn.
Is it going to be like an Ahsoka thing where it's like, okay, it's the voice actor, but he's not great at
But
acting?
did you like Thrawn in Rebels?
I did, yes.
I thought they actually handled Thrawn very well in Rebels.
Yeah.
So they're going to just continue that. It's just, you're right.
I hope so.
Acting
Yeah.
has to be right. Like those contexts, they bother Ahsoka or something because
Yeah.
she's always, her eyes are slowly opening and closing. And maybe that's just how like the Togrutan like blink, you know?
Right.
But there was also, I guess, some editing issues. We noticed the one with the braid of Shin.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
kind of funny.
Yeah, you guys
She
saw
has
that.
her
Well, when we're
Padawan
looking at the
braid.
hair, you're like, she doesn't have it. She has it. Yeah.
This is literally like one scene to another.
And then
It's
one
like,
of the other
it's not there.
one of the other reviews I was watching, apparently there's some scenes because Ahsoka does love to cross her arms when
Uh-huh.
she's talking to.
Is
There's
it
two
crossed the
scenes
other
where she
way?
crossed and then she turns and it's a wide shot and they're down.
Yep.
And then they
Interesting.
turn back and they're like this.
Oh no.
So there's a couple
Yeah.
of scenes in that first conversation, which
That's tough.
again, that was the weakest part. But
Man.
The weakest link.
I liked all of the lightsaber fights that we got.
Oh yeah.
There was like
Yeah,
one
definitely.
scene when Ahsoka did go to actually jump for the thing.
Yeah.
Oh
it
my
was a
gosh.
little too
Yeah.
like.
It's very cheesy.
It was kinda
It's like,
laughable.
you could tell they were just like, okay, step, reach, back,
Yeah, it felt like
Yeah.
it.
slash.
Otherwise, for Ray Stevenson, rest in peace.
Yes.
He did a great
He did
job
amazing.
fighting. Like
Yeah.
even I don't
Yeah.
mind his blaster bolt deflections. He did the same thing in the hallway,
Yeah.
but it's just
yeah.
style, right? And
But
he-
I'm also
he's
like,
got a
well,
heavy-
why doesn't anybody aim for the
heavy hitter.
legs? That's the only thing. I'm like, just switch it up. Do like a little
Even
twirl.
if they did, he would have still deflected.
You're
no, I
going
know,
kill
but I would have
shots.
liked to have seen
Yeah,
a dip
I know, it
down
was more
low.
like-
it was just like,
But you think Sabine's
It
gonna
almost
shoot
felt
for the
like
leg,
a
though?
rehearsed move, more so than it
Yeah.
felt like he was tapping in the
Maybe.
force to deflect these blaster bolts.
But
It's a minor
he's-
gripe
I
for
know,
me. It's
but
not-
he's
it's
reading
not a-
Sabine.
it's not a
She's not
point.
going to shoot the leg. She's going to go for the kill
Sweep
shot.
the leg.
Well, if 5 shots at the chest don't work, wouldn't you try something else?
She was emotional.
I know. I just that's it's a very minor gripe. It's not. I'm not gonna die on this hill.
Yeah, it wasn't the best. It wasn't the best part of it, but the
because
rest
it was
of the
very
stuff,
similar to even what he did earlier in the season.
It was
almost
exactly. It was exactly
the same
like it.
moveset.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But that's his style.
It is.
That
his,
is his,
it's his
It's
style.
his heavy stance, man.
Yeah, it's fine. It's
I-
something.
And he was walking as he did it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a
He's
lot of
still
action.
imposing as he's doing it, so
Yeah.
I can see why maybe they didn't want to throw that.
But
Yeah.
also,
Feeling
like, why
also.
isn't he deflecting him back at her?
Well, because
He
I
didn't-
don't.
He's
Well,
just
he didn't want.
deflecting.
He didn't want to
Jedi.
accidentally hit.
Did she have the thing in her hand at that
map.
point
Yeah,
still?
he didn't want
Bro,
to hit the map.
you're telling me
That's what I'm saying.
We don't
he's
need
a
to go back
Jedi,
into that.
a fallen Jedi, and he can't pinpoint where those
man.
blaster bolts go?
No, he probably
Come
didn't.
on, bro.
He hasn't
Yeah.
done it in a while, except for that.
Dustin,
one
you need to
ship.
go re-educate yourself
Oh my
Well,
in
he's
the
not-
ways of the Jedi.
He's not Anakin or Obi-Wan. They were way better at deflecting blaster bolts back at people.
Dude, I've seen so many Jedi do it.
Which
It's
was-
unreal.
Which was
There we
a.
are. That's what I wanted to see.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
I was wondering what you were doing. I was
Yeah.
like,
I just
why
wanted
are
to
we
see
going
these
into this?
characters because
Because they cool.
they cool.
Now we
They
need to get the
cool.
updated posters on there.
I think I have
Yeah.
all those characters in Lego form at this
Dude,
point.
that's sweet.
Do you have Anakin,
No.
Grandpakin?
Grandpa, we need Grandpakin.
I need Grandpakin.
I mean, it's I give 5 out of 5 for Balin.
Yes.
What are we? We're just
Like casting?
We're just
Casting,
rating
you know what I'm saying?
casting?
Like here we are. We're halfway through the season. Like
Yeah.
I really like Dustin said, Hu Yang,
Hu Yang.
I think
Balin,
he's honestly the best
Chopper.
one of them all.
He's as far as acting goes,
Yeah.
he's out acting everybody.
And
in
do you
my
think
opinion.
it's
Hu
because
Yang.
it's just the voice?
even
Yeah.
slightly above Balin for me? Slightly above
Yeah.
Balin because he's got some difficult he's acting against some difficult dialogue. It feels like
Yeah.
Inflection. Like
yeah.
we're raising the stakes.
But thankfully, Shin in that shot was a Shin. Yeah, I like Shin's holding her own acting wise. She doesn't have a lot to say,
No.
but she acts well. I think literally she doesn't blink. I think that's part of what she does.
And
If you-
And she just seems uninterested in everything.
Yeah.
So it just makes us not interested in her.
And also, didn't you say she looks like cross-eyed all the
she
time?
does sometimes.
Like slightly.
Like,
It's
what
like
is going on?
it's just enough to be noticeable.
yeah.
I think she's doing a good job though, opposite Balin and opposite Sabine.
Yeah.
Like they're playing well off of each other.
Yeah.
And Sabine, I think, is acting very well for the most part.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
think Sabine's
think
bringing
she's-
more.
I think she's
her role,
better
yeah.
for me as acting goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Ahsoka might be the weakest in some ways.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
definitely.
and maybe Elsbeth down there, but she hasn't. She's just kind of one note. I know.
Yeah,
Fact checker doesn't like her.
Elsbeth doesn't bother me as much because she's a villain and
Yeah.
she's
She
playing
does
a villain.
nothing. She just walks around and looks at things
I
and then
know.
just stands
That's
there.
what witches do.
I guess.
Yeah,
but
she's definitely hyping that up.
we need Thrawn. I need a better bad guy.
I think she
This is
was.
ridiculous.
I think Elsbeth was slightly better in Mando season 2.
Yeah,
actually.
she was because
Yeah.
she fought there. She did
Yeah,
something.
right.
She didn't
True.
just stand around.
Right, but I think that's coming up.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be another fight.
I don't know.
with
I
her.
think she's gonna be gone as soon as hopefully very soon, and then Thrawn's in.
No, they're fighting again. I think
Yeah.
Ahsoka and Elsbeth are fighting again at some
Probably.
point.
Hannah rolls with you.
But
Fact checker.
Yeah.
also we're coming up
And
on
Night Sky.
we're coming up on 2 hours, so we gotta
we
start.
gotta
We
end
gotta
it.
wrap this up.
I gotta go to
baby.
sleep.
Otherwise, we could. That's how good this episode was, though,
Yeah.
because we just want to keep talking about it.
That was like 5 out of 5 level.
It's like 4 out of 5 level.
He almost
It's like
got
4
him.
out of 5
And
level.
it's definitely got the conversation going, and that's the thing I appreciate most about this season. It's fun to speculate
show?
again. This show in general.
It's
Season
only
one,
the
but-
first season of the show, Dustin.
True, but
Come
it's
on,
got
man.
speculation
You gotta
going
think
in,
before
and
you speak.
theories are coming out. I'm just gonna ignore you. And it's just making
Yes,
Star
I know
Wars
that, I know
more
that.
fun again. So that's the biggest thing that I'm enjoying about this season. So people are gonna hate Star Wars. Hate Star Wars now, just to hate it because it's Disney Star Wars,
Right.
and I can't
That's
necessarily
fine.
fault them
I
for
can't
that.
either. Right.
But at the same time, we always try to take a balanced approach to it. If it's good, it's good, man. If it's bad, it's bad. We're going to call it what we call it. So I'm having fun with this show so far. I'm definitely seeing some negatives, but for the most part, it's a great show, and we're having a lot of fun halfway through. Thank you for being here tonight with us. We appreciate every single one of you. Just remember, we'll be back Tuesday next week for more Ahsoka pre-show. I think it's going to be an amazing episode. I cannot wait. So we can't wait to see you guys all there. Thanks for being with us here tonight. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your frenemies about us, and we will catch you on the next episode. Don't forget to always stay on target.